Certain questions of cultural identity stand out among the main topics present in the Eurovision Song Contest, like nationality. Although strictly speaking, competitors are public TV stations, rhetoric of nationality is very common in their contributions to the show. On the one hand, countries are represented by songs, singers, and composers, and on the other hand, countries compete against one another. Many participating nations enhance the exhibition of their domestic cultural roots, albeit also aligning with the mainstream music culture in several degrees. Hence, a thin line between looking different and familiar at the same time has been exploited in this regard. Moreover, as a public event, Eurovision also highlights how public broadcasters relate to each other in terms of international cooperation. In this regard, the Spanish broadcaster RTVE has participated in the show without interruption since 1961. Even the country, as we know, was under Franco's dictatorship to the recent withdrawal in 2025. This fact not only can provide a very complete picture of the history of this public broadcaster in the contest, it also illustrates the history of the country, especially in the 60s and 70s, with the transition from dictatorship to democracy. Indeed, at that time, RTVE was the only broadcaster in the country. So taking part in this event was a strategic task during the developmentalism period, which spans from 1964 and 1975. And the Spanish contributions of that time reveal how the regime wanted to present itself internationally. RTVE entries of these early years explore the Spanish national branding. The term national branding fits with the Eurovision project not only because of the rhetoric of nationality present in the show. Its very structure, given the number of contestants and audiences, means the adaptations of the song to a strict framework of 3 minutes length, among other restrictions. But consequently, cultural identity features should be simplified too, in order to stand out and to be understood by the rest of participants. In its early years, Spanish broadcaster compete with entries related to national traditions, such as the copla music style, obtaining always very poor results. RTVE began participating in the contest in 1961. That year, Spain joined the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Being part in these forums represented a unique opportunity for economic and cultural integration, given the country's precarious situation after the Civil War. Moreover, the Ministry of Information and Tourism promoted from the 1940s the slogan "Spain is different" to enhance tourism. That campaign represents the country as exotic and strictly linked to Andalusian folklore, using Andalusia as a synecdoche for the image of the country abroad. With conservative lawyer Jesús Aparicio Bernal as director of RTVE, the first Spanish entry sought to represent this image in the contest, when the copla singer Conchita Bautista was selected to participate in 2 occasions, in 1961 and 1965. The flamenco style acting and dancing and the gypsy dress, as you can see in the image, reinforced the image of Spanish woman as feminine and tempestuous. However, in her 2 attempts as I said before, finished in a low position, even failing to score any points in 1965. Spanish culture associated with flamenco seemed to have negative connotations abroad due to its openly capitalization by the regime. But Frankists keep on trying to succeed in the event. RTVE hence changed its strategy and decided to use the image and the music of the American crooner stereotype with male performers such as Victor Balaguer and José Guardiola, and also Rafael in the following years. Probably we know about Rafael because he managed to get the seventh and a sixth place with his two proposals, which became a very big success in the international markets. Things became even better after 1968. That year, the Duo Dinámico group participated as composers of the RTVE entry, with an entry that was performed by Massiel. As the singer Massiel expressed, she radically changed her style for the occasion, which have been formal and serious because her background singing protest songs. She bought a dress from the French fashion house Courrèges to be in tune with the tastes of the moment, the French ye-yés culture, and the spirit of the composition. A simple, cheerful, and catchy song entitled La La La, far from any link with Spanish folklore or culture. The public broadcaster achieved its first place finish with this performance. It was proof that embracing an international trend was a good way to be recognized in the contest. After Massiel's success, the event was held at Teatro Real in Madrid in 1969. However, Spain has been in a state of emergency since January due to the student riots of that moment. In order to stop a possible boycott and being aware of everything that was at stake, Franco suspended the state of emergency just days before the show. The dictator also decreed an amnesty that led to the expiry of crimes committed during the Civil War. Despite this controversial moment, this whitewashing operation was a success, coinciding with the consolidation of RTVE as a company. The result was that Spain won again, although in a four-way tie. You know, Spain is different. Back to the political context, repression continued even during Franco's final days in 1975. However, some policies of developmentalism began to bear fruit in the following years, increasing tourism and the average purchasing power of the Spaniards by the end of the decade. Under the stewardship of lawyer Adolfo Suárez from 1969 to 1973, the public TV corporation continued to invest heavily in the contest. Nonetheless, despite having been part of Franco's institution, Adolfo Suárez, you can see in this image, will later be a key figure in the Spanish transition. He even was the president of Spain from 1976 to 1981. In the 70s, RTVE entered the Eurovision with very great impact, especially with Carina in 1971 and Mocedades in 1973. Both proposals were far from any cultural or political mentions, and both got a second position in the show. Mocedades even got a very high success, reaching the top 10 of the Billboard charts, as Deambuletic says in his books. It was one of the very few non-English songs to reach this success. In this decade, the only song that referred to Spanish culture, Peret's rumba entitled Canta y sé feliz, which means sings and be happy, ended up only 9th out of 17 in 1974. Ethnic references were not so welcome at that time, but in a deep case, it can be noted that the non-politically correct lyrics, as you can see in these slides, could contribute, could affect also the result. Although Spanish culture should be set aside to succeed in this show, RTVE found a way to spread it: the promotional videos. The broadcaster tried in this regard something different, trying to represent Spain as a sunny and beach destination, and it happened in the video clip of Carina, that it was filmed in Alicante, and also the one from Mocedades in Castro Urdiales in the north, in Cantabria, and with Miki in 1977 in the, Ibiza, and José Vélez in 1978 in Gran Canaria. The tourism sector was already the country's leading industry at that moment in Spain, and in this era, an era that coincides with the death of Franco. And finally, in 1979, Betty Mi Ciego was the runner-up with Su Canción, Your Song, a proposal in line with Carina and Massiel, and again providing a touristic flavor in her video clip that it was filmed in Palma de Mallorca. That entry coincides with the arrival of democracy months before, on 29 December of 1978, due to the approval of the Spanish Constitution. In conclusion, it can be noted that best results inside and outside the ESC, what is very important, from RTVE, came in the time when Aparicio Bernal and Suárez, let's remember, the future president of Spain, ruled the corporation. These years coincide also with the end of dictatorship too. With few exceptions, since then, RTVE ceased to play a prominent role in the Eurovision Song Contest. Its entries, mostly performed by novice artists and lacking a clear promotion and media strategy, didn't success. However, this disinterest from the public broadcaster can be explained. Spain was finally part of European institution, and that not needed to validate itself through the event, which was the objective since its beginnings. Thank you very much, and we have here the bibliography, and then in the round table we keep on talking about this presentation for all of them. Thank you very much.